How'd your bets turn out this week? You said that you were kind of fluctuating on the UFC 249.
Let me tell you the roller coaster I went through this weekend, huh? The emotions. And I got to tell you, I'm really not into UFC, and that was the most exciting time I've ever had watching UFC. Because a lot of the fights were like, I hate the wrestling. That's just boring to me.
I hate it. Yeah, I hate the ground.
Yeah,
if they're gonna go, the only time I want to see the ground is whenever some guy's like kicking the shit out of some other guy, which I don't think you're allowed to do.
No, we'll get into a very
that was a
but so essentially last week, if you listen to this podcast, we had Anthony Tadero on, and I said that I would put down whatever bet Anthony Tadero told me to put down, and that is exactly what happened. And I put down 2 parlays. You know what a parlay is?
Yes.
Okay. Well, for those who are listening, I'll say, because I don't think Bruce really does. I think a parlay is when you take, multiple bets and you tie them together. So you have to hit all 3, all 4 of the bets, and you get better odds. See, the thing with a fight though, you can't tease it. You know what I mean? Like, cause it's just straight win loss. Like if you're betting football and you're betting the line and say all 3 games are, 5-point spread, and then you parlay them, you can tease them down to a 3-point spread because you're taking a higher risk. Can't do that with win loss. There's no teasing a win and loss. So
from what I've gathered from what you told me about your weekend is that you basically turned into Adam Sandler's character in Uncut Gems. Oh, you gotta see. Look, it's gonna keep working out. Go on though. Let's tell the folks what happened.
That's so funny. My teeth got bigger. So my first bet was I bet on Thiago Santos and Rakic, and it was parlayed with Askar Askarov and whoever the fuck I didn't even watch his fight. And he won. Askar Askarov won. So the first half of my parlay hit. Then Thiago Santos and Rakic dude, you have never seen a fight this boring. You think Pacquiao Mayweather was boring? This shit was just 2 jacked giant dudes walking in a circle for fucking 15 minutes. Most boring fight I've ever seen in my life. Somehow
Sounds like me and you down at the Y.
Wait, why are we walking circles at the Y?
As at the track down there. Me and you just walking around, just power walking around the track.
Oh, like the in high school PE where they're like, I don't want to.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. Me and you just taking laps.
Yeah, so that didn't work. So now I'm down $30. I didn't do huge bets. I put 2 $30 bets down on 2. That's my initial thing. That was what happened. Like I put those down before the event started. So I'm down that one. My second parlay comes up, and I bet on Dominic Cruz to win. Again, these are Anthony's advice. I never even heard of Dominic Cruz. He hits. And then the second fight is Aljamain Sterling, the guy with the big flat top we talked about last week, versus I got to sneeze. Hold on a second. Fuck! Excuse me.
Dude, I swear to God, I went to Knott's Berry Farm with my gay uncle one time, and he on the drop of every roller coaster, he would sound like that. When it would drop, he'd go, "Oh, you fucking motherfucker!" Like, dude, there's children all around, and he's just fucking about to start crying on the fucking roller coaster. He said, "Oh, you motherfucker!" Just on every single drop on the roller coaster. Not even trying to be funny. He's just legitimately terrified.
So Aljamain Sterling is fighting this guy, Peter Yan. Peter Yan is whooping the fucking life at Aljamain Sterling.
I mean, if I'm just reading off of a piece of paper and I have to look at a fight of Aljamain versus Peter, I'm definitely going Aljamain.
Well, no, because you got to understand, Peter is spelled P-E-T-R. So it's like
okay, you're right. Okay, so now I am going Peter because that's terrifying.
It looks like it's some abbreviated dinosaur name. Like it's like somehow his name means like pterodactyl or something is his long name.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a Russian demon. And he had beautiful movement. he looked like, I texted Anthony. I was like, this guy looks like he boxed. And Anthony's like, he's been boxing since he was 13 years old. Yet, because UFC, that terrible head movement. That's another thing. The sport hasn't advanced enough. Like boxing has 150 years of perfection. So when you're watching a title fight in boxing, you're watching like 150 years of learned lessons. And so you're seeing masterpiece boxing. But even when you're watching title fights in UFC, I'm like, these dudes, they're kind of sloppy with their striking. But Peter Yan's whooping the god out of Aljamain Sterling. And then at one point he gets Aljamain Sterling on his knees and they replay the audio. He says in Russian, "Can I kick?" Because sometimes when you're in the throw of things, you yell to your coach because you can't tell if the kick would be legal or not. And one of his coaches said yes. So he fucking...
Well, he said, did he say kick or knee? Because didn't his coach said knee him?
I don't know exactly how it all broke down because I didn't watch any post-fight stuff. I just watched what they said in the moment, and they said kick in the moment was what the coach said. And so he grabbed this guy's head. The guy, by the way, Aljamain was in execution position, like Guantanamo Bay, like on your knee.
Yeah, I saw the replay of it. It is,
yeah,
it's pretty gnarly.
And he fucking kneed him right in the head, knocked the goofy into him, and he fucking fell over. They disqualified the fight. The guy was trying to stand up. He kept falling over, but because of that knee, I won $129. So God bless that fucking...
Off of that fight, or that fight finished your parlay?
It finished my parlay. So that fight, Aljamain. Yeah. So I won $129. Now I'm feeling good. I'm juiced up, right? So I'm like, let's keep betting. But now this is the part of the movie in Uncut Gems where you lock your brother-in-law and his friend in the fucking glass case. Oh no, you don't understand. Yeah, you're gonna keep winning. I'm up $129. So I'm up $129. And then in my mind, I'm playing with house money. You know what I'm saying? So I tell my father this the next day, and he goes, "Let me tell you something, you crazy son of a bitch. There's no such thing as house money. Once that money enters your bank account, that's your friggin' money. When you start calling it house money, you don't appreciate it the way you should. Don't ever say, I don't want to ever hear you say house money ever again." And then he goes into this rant about, see, this is the kind of stuff you could do if you had a son. Like if you gave me a grandson, these are the kind of conversations you get to quit. And he started pressuring me to have a son because I was talking about a bookie and parlays. He was getting all fired up. And
yeah, your dad's like, you don't ever disrespect this family by doing bad bets.
Yeah. And by the way, a little trick with my father, when he starts putting pressure on me to have a kid, I just say something good about Joe Biden. He hangs up on me. It's a perfect thing. He'll be like, you need to give me a son. And I'll be like, did you see Uncle Joe got the stimulus package through? And he'll be like, goodbye. And he'll hang up. But
gotta go. Dude, my dad was cooking on Facebook the other day. Did you see? I sent you that.
Oh yeah.
You see that, dude?
Talking about somebody.
Oh, dude, I'll just give him
life.
Dude, my dad said on Facebook that after your wife makes dinner, you got to tell her thank you. After you have sex with your wife, you got to tell her thank you, or some other guy's going to be doing it for you, dude. Our dads are getting it cooking right now.
Your dad's like John Redcorn, dude.
Yeah, dude. No, he's trying to keep the John Redcorns out of here.
So I'm up 129. So I say, I'm looking at this Amanda Nunes, Megan Anderson fight. And I know just by the fact that her name's Megan, she's going to lose. But she was a big motherfucker. She was towering over.
She's 6 feet tall.
She's towering over Amanda Nunes. So per Anthony's, I'm just following whatever Anthony's telling me. He says, I just put a bet down that this fight will go into the third round, at least minimum. And so I said, shit, I'll do that too, because it was a huge payoff. So I put down like $20 that'll go into the third round. And then they start the ring announcing and they're looking eye to eye. And I'm like, oh, fuck, this girl is terrified. She couldn't even look at Amanda Nunes. And Amanda Nunes was completely comfortable trying to touch. And that fight was over in 2 minutes. She beat the fuck out of that girl. And so I lost that bet. And I was like, well, let me get my money back, right? So I still have some profit going on.
Of course, you're like, well, $20. What's $20? What's $20? $20 is house money and $20.
So I throw down a certain amount of money. I put 3 bets on the Izzy fight because I'm like, no way Izzy loses this fight. That's what everybody tells me. So I put down money.
See, if I would have been betting, I would have bet against Izzy just because I would have been like, well, if I put $20 that Izzy's going to lose, that's probably going to pay out like what, 100?
Yeah, it was really good odds. But yeah, this guy that Anthony and I are friends with made $600 just on a straight win-loss bet, like on a $100 bet, I think, or something. So I put down fights that Izzy's going to win in the second, third, and fourth round. I put bets down, 3 different bets on that. And I'm just watching them lose. So essentially, moral of the story is the suicide rope won, and I got taken down.
Suicide rope is undefeated. Dude, the suicide rope, I told Bryan that night, I was like, dude, we might have to go over and touch that suicide rope.
I know. I was thinking about like all the people I know who've hung themselves, and nobody I know who has hung themselves has used actual rope. So I think that's why nothing good's ever happened for anybody who found them.
Why? Because they use the belt.
Yeah, they're using belt.
You got to. I think you got to wear the belt. Could you imagine? Could you imagine if
ring with a belt on?
Yeah. Could you imagine? Yeah. Could you imagine if I showed up one day and I was like, things were going really good. I was like rich. I was like, dude, got this belt. It's Chris Cornell's belt.
Yeah, you're like, thank God I didn't answer my high school friend's phone call that night.
Yeah, I know. Now I got this belt.
Yeah, everything's come up for me now.
Well,
I invented.
So what?
I ended up winning $24.
You ended up winning.
I went down 30. I was up 129. But when I say I won $26, folks, I want you to know that means I won $86. You know,
profited. Okay. Profited $26.
I take that. Okay. You know what? They paid me out in Bitcoin. That $26 is worth like $29 or $30 now. So it's paying for it.
Dude. Yeah, we got some coins are pumping right now. I just went back in.
Yeah, I went hard on Ethereum like a week ago, and anyway, nobody wants to hear about this.
Tune into the other podcast, the third cast. Yeah, fat investors. Yeah.
Oh no, we'll call it fat stocks.
Fat stocks. Oh God, man, how is that not the first thing we? Oh man, we should quit.